Okay, we're going to work really hard today at being able to explain how and why the algorithm works. So then when I say, all right, now you're going to go ahead and try to solve the problem using the algorithm, you can tell me why those little ones are going up at the top and really understand the meaning of them and what they stand for. Okay, so below there is, I asked two adults to solve the problem 145 plus 229. Okay, I asked two adults to solve it. These are the two ways the adults solved it. These are both different algorithms, all right? One is not the US standard algorithm, all right? One is just a different algorithm. One is the US standard algorithm. So my question is, can anybody look at solution one, take a look at it, and can you tell me how you think, or step by step, what that adult did to solve the problem? Looking at solution one. So I just want you to look at this one first, all right? And I'm asking you to kind of be a risk taker. Can anybody look at that solution and explain what you think that person did to solve the problem step by step? If you think you can share what you look at it and you think you understand what they did, raise your hand. Okay, Ania, talk us through step by step what that person did to solve the problem.
So first they added 145 plus 229. And so they did 5 plus 9 and they got a 0. And
So slow down. Is 5 plus 9 a 0?
No, they didn't do it right.
So no, so they didn't do the algorithm the way we think of it. They used it a different way. All right. So let me ask, does anybody, I'm going to underline it. Do you guys see this 300 right here?
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody think they know where that 300 came from?
Oh, I think the
100 plus 200.
Yeah, they took the hundreds place and added them together and got 300. So they did 100 plus 200 to get 300. All right. Guadalupe, do you think you might be able to figure out where do you think that 60 came from? Somebody think they can help Guadalupe out? Think you can tell me where that 60 comes from? Jonathan, where do you think that 60 comes from?
tens place.
The tens place, right? We have 4 tens plus 2 tens. We get 6 tens, and that's 60. All right. And then, Ania, now we can look at it. Ania, where does that 14 come from?
From the ones place.
The ones place, right? The 5 plus 9. So then they took what they got for each place value and added it together to get 374. All right, that's what solution one did. That's not the United States standard algorithm, but that is an algorithm, which is a pattern. You're taking a pattern or a method that you know works in solving the problem. I have a feeling somebody can explain how number 2 worked, right? Can somebody tell me what you think that person did step by step to solve the problem? Somebody I've not heard from a whole lot. All right, I want somebody else to step up and be a risk taker. Can anybody tell me, talk me through what you think they did to solve that second one? Corbin, what about you? You used the algorithm before. Corbin, what do you think? Talk me through step by step what that person did on solution number 2.
On equation number 2.
Yeah, solution number 2.
He
What did they do? How did they solve
He
that?
put the 1 on top of the tens because he had
What do they do to start? What do you think? If I gave them that problem and they started it, what do they do? to start? You don't have to explain why they put the 1 up there yet. Just tell me what you think they did to start the problem.
They would start with the ones.
Okay, so they added 5 ones plus 9 ones. What did they get for the answer?
They did the one 14, so then they had a 10 that didn't belong in the ones anymore. So they put the 1 over the other 10s.
Okay.
And then their answer, they got 4 for the ones. And then that 1 went into the 2 or the 4. And then it made 3. 4 plus 3 is 7, so they got 7 for their answer. And then 1 plus 2 equals 3, and that's how I got that. And the other.
Okay, so we have they got
Answer
374,
to the-
right? So we have a pretty basic understanding. The main difference is, and these 2 ways that these people solve these problems is, the person who did solution 1 started with the hundreds place. Eric, put your tablet away, dude, please and thank you. They started in the hundreds place, did the hundreds, then the tens, then the ones, right? And then they added all of those together at the very end. The one who did the standard algorithm, when we use the standard algorithm, we add 1 place at a time, starting in the ones place. And we're going to talk about what that means and why certain things work today in more detail, so we really understand it, all right? So here's the same exact problem, all right? The way that person lined it up. So anytime you use the US standard algorithm, you are going to start in the ones place, all right? So my first step is that I'm going to add 5 plus 9, right? All right. When I do 5 plus 9, what do I get? We just talked about it, but what do I get? Anybody can unmute and tell me. What do I get when I do 5 plus 9?
14.
14, okay? So here's the problem with 14. This is why we do this in algorithm. We learned, and we've talked about all the time, that when you have place value, you can only have 1 digit in that place. So what I can't do, I cannot put 14 ones down here. They don't fit. I can only have 1 digit. So when I break up that 14, really what I'm saying is I have 1 10 and 4 ones. So I put my 4 here, and I put my 1 here. All right? I'm going to circle this 4 right here. All right? And I want to know who can tell me what that 4 is. Where did that 4 come from? Why is there only a 4 down there? Where did that 4 come from? Marvin.
Because if the number is past 10, or if it's 10, you get the number behind the number, so you put it below the place value that you was adding, and add a 1 in the other.
Okay, so we're on the right track, right? Guadalupe, what did I get when I did 5 plus 4? Or 5 plus 9, sorry.
14.
14, right? So when the number 14, what number's in the ones place?
4.
Right. My 4 is in the ones place. So when I do 5 plus 9 equals 14, my 4 ones stay in the ones place. Right? Cynthia, what does this little 1 up on the top mean? What does that little 1 really mean, Cynthia?
10.
10, right? That's my 10. It represents the 10 from when I did 5 plus 9, right? Equals 14. That 1 moved over there, right? And I put that 1 in the tens place because it is a 10 in my answer. So now we can move on, okay? Let's talk about the remaining part. So I have now moved on to the tens place. So who could tell me what would be my next step in this problem? What's going to be my next step in the problem now that I move my 1 over to the tens place where it belongs? Somebody besides Ania. I hear from Ania a whole bunch every day. Ania, I love your enthusiasm. I love that you want to participate. Keep raising your hand. All right. I love that. I cannot call on you every time. I got to have other people share. All right. Guadalupe, I've heard from you multiple times already. I've heard from Cynthia and Corbin. I need somebody else. I've heard from Marvin. Derek, what's my next step in this problem?
You said your next step in a problem?
Yep. What's my next step in this problem? What am I going to do next? We did 5 plus 9 is 14. We kept our 4 over here in the ones place. There's 4 1. Move the 10 from 14 over to the tens place up at the top where it belongs. What am I going to do next?
Add it all together.
Add what all together?
The problem, the numbers.
Which numbers am I adding right now? What my next step? This is more than one step. I don't just add all the numbers. What step do I do next? What am I going to add together next? I did my ones place. Now where do I add?
Your tens place?
My tens place, right? So I'm going to go to my tens place. Thank you, sir. Kayla, what numbers are in my tens place to add together?
And 40.
Huh? Go say that one more time.
20 and 40.
Yeah, 20 and 40 plus my one more little 10 at the top, right? So I love how Kayla said 20 and 40, right? Because really what people always say is they say you add 4 plus 2 and plus 1. But really speaking, this is 20, this is 40, and this is 10. But I get 4, 5, 6, 7 tens. So that 7 really represents 70, right? So now I've done my tens place. I've got one more step. Jonathan, what do I need to do next?
Do the
I added my ones and my tens. Where am I on this problem? What's next, Jonathan?
the hundred place.
The hundreds place. So what am I going to do? Talk me through what I'm going to do right now to finish the problem.
100 plus 200.
Yep, and I get 300, right? So my answer is 374. So when we do the algorithm, you need to be able to tell me that 1 up at the top, that really means a 10. Because when I added 5 plus 9, I got 14, and my 1 stayed in the ones place, and my 10 went up to the top. Right? That's super important, okay? So let's move on. Let's try one more, all right? I want you to solve that number you see on the screen, okay? I want you to solve that problem using the algorithm, all right? Solve that problem using the algorithm on your whiteboard. I'm going to ask to see your whiteboard in 2 minutes and 30 seconds, okay? I'm giving you 2 minutes and 30 seconds to solve that problem. Go. I'm going to ask to see your whiteboards for participation in 2 minutes. One more minute. One more minute. At 11:51, I will ask you to show me your whiteboards. It's okay if it's not completely done. I just want to see the work you have been able to accomplish in those 2.5 minutes. Okay, let's look at that problem. Everybody go ahead and show me your whiteboards, please. All right, go ahead and put them down. I have a wide range of answers here. CJ, I want you to talk me through and explain what you did to solve this problem step by step. Make sure you tell us what place you started in and why numbers went to certain places. Go.
Okay, 243 plus 382 equals 625. I know this because 3 plus 2 equals 5. 4 plus 8 equals 12. So I put the 2 at the bottom and then I carry the 10 over to the...
Slow down, okay? So let's start with the 3 plus 2. What place are you starting in?
the ones.
1. So you have 3 ones plus 2 ones, you get 5 ones. All right. Now we move over to what place, CJ?
The tens.
So I know you said 4 plus 8, but really what am I adding here?
40 plus 80.
Thank you. All right, but you say 4 plus 8 tens. How many tens did you get?
12.
So I cannot put 12 tens down here, right? So what I do is,
And then you carry 100 of the tens and add it to 200. And then that's 300 plus 300. It
Okay.
equals 600.
okay, so I want to slow down one more time, okay? So when we think about this, CJ is really adding 40 plus 80. So what he's saying is we're getting 0 ones, 2 tens, and 100 out of that because 4 tens plus 8 tens is 12 tens, which actually gives us 100, right? So when he does that, he's moving this one up here. Somebody, let's see. I know you just explained it, CJ. So, Denise, what is this little one up here actually worth?
It's worth to like if there's like a 1, it's like worth because it's connecting to the 2 because
All right,
it's 12.
I'm saying what's the value of it? So he had 12 tens. So this is 2 10s. What place is this little 1 up here in now that we moved it over there?
In the 100, the
Yeah.
100.
Yeah, so that 1 is worth 100. It's really 100, right? So now CJ was saying he took the hundreds place and added up, got 3, 2, and 100, and he got 600, right? And our answer is 625. Okay. So our goal is that we're able to explain that we can say, this is what I was actually doing. This is what these are worth. Okay. These are the value of these numbers. So you have 2 jobs today. When they're both done, you can tell me I finished one, I finished the second one. I'll be like, cool, see you at office hours at 2 o'clock. Okay, I'm going to show you how to get to them. You're going to open Canvas. Sorry, I was still looking at vocabulary assignments earlier. You're going to open Canvas. You're going to click on Thursday. And then you're going to click on Math. All right. And then you're going to click on using the addition algorithm. All right. The first part is a discussion. Okay. It says choose 2 of the numbers below. Add them using the algorithm for addition. After solving the problem, explain what you did to solve it and how the algorithm works. Then respond to your classmates who solve different problems. You will be given points for both your solution and your explanation. So you can pick any 2 of those numbers and solve it however you want. If you feel like challenging yourself, or sorry, you're going to solve it using the algorithm, but you can choose any 2 numbers. If Ania wants to pick 683 plus 354, she can do that. If Marvin wants to do 354 plus 218, Marvin can do that. All right. So it's your choice. I'm not going to make you do one or the other. After you finish the discussion, you're going to say, Mr. Hoffman, I'm done with the discussion. I'm going to say, okay, you can move on to the daily practice. That's right here, page 279. It is one problem at the top. It says solve the problem in 2 different ways. Be sure to show how you got your answers. All right. First way I solved it, second way I solved it. This is page 279 in your workbook. I would just do the workbook page and submit a picture of the workbook page. That way you don't have, or a video of the workbook page. You don't have to type it all out. The second one says, which of the following is true? Okay. So you have to do the discussion first, then you do the daily practice. When they're both done, I'll say, all right, you can go to lunch. All right. Anybody have any questions? Okay. I'm going to take a small group with me to the breakout room. Okay. I'm going to take a small group with me to the breakout room, and we're going to work on the discussion part together. Okay. And then I will come back into the main room to check on working all that good stuff. Okay. All right. I will let you know who's in the breakout room in just a second.